Because here's the thing, nobody tells you. School will teach you the quadratic formula. School will make you memorize the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. But nobody, not one single teacher, sits you down and says, here's what to actually do with the money you're about to start making. So you do what everyone does. You just let it sit there, in checking, all of it. And maybe you feel a little proud of yourself because at least you're not spending it all. But here's the brutal part. That money sitting in your checking account isn't growing. It's not working. It's just sitting there, quietly losing value to inflation, while you tell yourself you'll figure out investing later. And then life happens. Your car needs a new transmission. Or you slip on ice and now there's a $3,000 ER bill with your name on it. And because you never built anything underneath yourself, you reach for a credit card. And that card has a 24% interest rate. And suddenly, you're not saving money anymore. You're paying a tax on your own bad luck every single month for years. This is the exact trap that keeps an entire generation broke. Not because they're bad with money, not because they're lazy, but because nobody ever told them there's an order to this, a sequence. And if you do it out of order, even if you're disciplined, even if you're trying your hardest, you end up building a house with no foundation. So today, I want to walk you through the 4 accounts. Not 10, not some overwhelming spreadsheet with 12 categories. 4 accounts in the exact order you need to open them, so that by the time you're 30, you're not scrambling. You're ahead of almost everyone you know. Let's start with the one that sounds so boring, you've probably already tuned it out. Account number 1 is your checking account. And I know, you already have one. But stick with me, because most people are using it completely wrong. Think of your checking account like the lobby of a building. Nothing is supposed to live there. People walk through, they do their business, and they leave. That's it. Money comes in from your paycheck, and it should almost immediately be leaving. Some to bills, some to savings, some to investing. If your checking account is holding thousands of dollars just sitting there for months, that's not smart. That's actually costing you money, because that cash isn't earning anything close to what it could be. The mistake here isn't which bank you pick. Genuinely, it does not matter if it's Chase or Bank of America or some no-name credit union. What matters is this: no hidden fees, no overdraft charges, no monthly maintenance fee just for existing. Because here's a stat that should make you a little angry. Banks in the US pulled in over $5 billion in overdraft fees in a single recent year. $5 billion. From people who were already struggling. That's not a bank helping you. That's a bank profiting off your bad month. So step 1 is simple. Get a checking account with 0 fees and treat it like a hallway, not a storage unit. Now here's where it gets interesting. Account number 2 is the one that almost nobody has, and it's the single easiest win in this entire video. It's called a high-yield savings account. And the name sounds fancy, but it's not. It's just a savings account that isn't run by a bank that's being lazy with your money. Here's the number that should honestly make you a little upset. The average traditional savings account, the one at your regular bank, pays you around 0.4% interest. A high-yield savings account, which is just as safe, just as insured by the FDIC, pays somewhere around 4%. Let that sink in for a second. Same safety, same government protection, 10 times the return. The only difference is one bank is being honest with you, and the other one is banking, pun intended, on you never checking. This account has one job. It's your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of your actual living expenses. Rent, groceries, insurance, the bare minimum to survive. Not your Uber Eats budget. And here's why this has to come before anything else. Before investing. Before anything fun. Because without this account, every single unexpected expense in your life becomes a crisis. Your car breaks down? Crisis. You lose your job? Crisis. Without an emergency fund, you're one bad month away from credit card debt. With one, that same bad month is just an inconvenience. You pay it, you refill the account, and you move on with your life. This is the account that turns you from someone who's scared of money into someone who feels in control of it. And that feeling, that's not small. That's actually the whole game. Now let's talk about the account that makes people nervous. Account number 3 is a credit card. And I already know what some of you are thinking, because you've probably heard the finance guy on TikTok screaming that all debt is evil. Credit cards are a trap. Cut them all up. And look, for some people, that advice makes sense. If you know you can't control yourself around a credit card, that's real. And you should respect that about yourself. But for most people, avoiding credit entirely doesn't protect you. It actually hurts you. Because a huge chunk of your credit score is built on something called credit history. Literally, just how long you've had accounts open and in good standing. If you wait until you're 28 to get your first credit card, you're 28 with a 22-year-old's credit file. And that follows you when you try to rent an apartment, buy a car, or get a mortgage. So here's the psychology first way to think about a credit card. It's not free money. It's a reputation building tool that happens to come with a $2,000 borrowing limit attached. Use it like a debit card. Never spend what you don't already have sitting in your checking account, and pay the entire balance off every single month. Not the minimum, all of it. Do that, and the interest rate becomes irrelevant because you never pay a cent of it. Do that for 2 or 3 years, and you'll have a credit score that opens doors most of your friends won't even know exist. Now, the account most people know they should have and keep putting off. And that delay is going to cost some of you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. Account number 4 is the Roth IRA. Here's the metaphor I want you to hold on to. Imagine you plant an apple tree. In year 1, it grows a single apple. Kind of unimpressive, right? But that apple has seeds, and those seeds grow more trees, and those trees grow more apples with more seeds. 10 years in, you're not looking at a tree anymore. You're looking at an orchard. That's compound interest. Your money makes money, and then that money makes money, and it keeps snowballing on itself. And the earlier you plant that first tree, the bigger the orchard gets. A Roth IRA is just an investment account built specifically for retirement, where you contribute money you've already paid taxes on. And in exchange, every single dollar of growth inside that account is completely tax-free. Forever. The IRS cannot touch it. Not when you're 40, not when you're 70. And here's the stat that should genuinely bother you. If you invest just $300 a month starting at age 22, and you get an average 8% return, which is roughly what the stock market has historically done, by the time you're 62, you'd have over $1 million. $1 million from $300 a month. Now take that same $300 a month, but start at 32 instead of 22. You lose over half of that final number. Same amount of money invested per month, 10 fewer years. The difference is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not a typo, and that's not an exaggeration. That's just what compounding does when you give it time. This is why the order actually matters so much. You can't invest confidently into a Roth IRA if you don't have an emergency fund, because the second life throws something at you, you'll be forced to pull that investment back out early, and you'll lose the momentum. Plus get hit with penalties. Everything before this account exists to protect this account. And if you're already maxing out your Roth IRA, there's a bonus account worth knowing. A regular taxable brokerage account. Same idea. Buy stocks, let them grow. Except there's no tax advantage and no contribution limit. It's what you use once you've already filled up the tax-free bucket and you still have money you want working for you instead of sitting idle. So let's zoom out for a second, because I want you to actually feel this, not just hear it. Checking account. The hallway your money passes through. High-yield savings. The safety net that protects your peace of mind. Credit card. The reputation builder. Used responsibly. Roth IRA. The orchard you're planting today that you won't fully appreciate for 30 years. None of these 4 things require you to be a genius. None of them require you to pick the perfect stock or time the market or have some special insider knowledge. They require you to do something incredibly unglamorous. Open the account, automate the transfer, and then just leave it alone. That's it. That's the entire secret that separates people who retire comfortably from people who are still stressed about money at 55. So here's your actual assignment, and I want you to do this today. Not eventually. Not next payday. Today. Pick whichever one of these four you don't have yet. Just one. Open it. It takes 10 minutes. You don't need to have this all figured out immediately. You just need to start the sequence, because time is the one ingredient in this entire equation that you can never buy back. The version of you at 45 is either going to thank you for the 10 minutes you spent today or resent you for putting it off one more year. So which one is it going to be? And hey, if this helped you even a little, hit that watch later so you can come back to this when you're actually ready to open these accounts. And subscribe for more videos like this. I'm dropping breakdowns on each of these accounts individually soon, so you don't want to miss those.